Well, if it wasn't clear before, it is now clear. Israel is officially a dictatorship. Now, it's famously paraded as the only democracy in the Middle East. That has been a lie for 30 years, and last week it was finally sealed. So let me explain. Israel does have the freest, fairest elections probably in the world. It has proportional representation, so no two uni parties like in America or the UK, where you're basically voting for exactly the same thing. And there's no other competition out there. No one can be big enough to break in, and so therefore they control everything. And they're also fake democracies. But a dictatorship is totally different. So Israel has proportional representation. It has free elections. No postal ballot is allowed. You have to come in with ID. It's checked by 3 people there. It's paper ballots in the thing. And it has a list beforehand, so you can't do ballot stuffing either. Basically, it's a very, very free and fair election. The problem is the election is meaningless. And since the 1990s, when the Supreme Court basically took over and performed a judicial coup, where they basically said, we are now going to say things are unreasonable. It's called the reasonability clause. And we can strike down any law we want by saying it's unreasonable. We don't need any reason to strike it down. We say it's unreasonable and it's finished. We don't need any judicial precedents. We don't need any background. I don't even know why they sit in those things with all those books behind them. They don't need any of them. They just say unreasonable. That's it. That's it. Finished. Struck down. And no one can override them. Pathetic. They're also self-appointed. It's complicated, but essentially they're self-appointed by themselves, so no one actually appoints them, unlike in the US, where the president, the sitting president, will appoint them. Here, they're all self-appointed by themselves, and that's it. It's a tight intelligentsia that strikes down laws. Now, last week, what did we have? We had a shocker. So, an election a year and a half ago, with judicial reformers on the cards. The people of Israel had had enough. They've had enough of this left-wing tyranny, and they said, we're voting in the most right-wing coalition there's ever been, with a big mandate, 64 mandate right-wing and 56 against. So, you know, not a small difference. A huge. That's quite a big majority in Israel. And they voted 64 to overturn the reasonability clause using a basic law. So a basic law is like a constitutional law. It's not a normal law, it's a basic law, which is like a constitution. Never been struck down by the Supreme Court, ever. When you insert that they shouldn't be able to touch it. They went last week and they overturned it. They overturned the elected body's constitutional law. That's how crazy they are. Against themselves. The law was to stop them, and they overturned it against themselves. Total, I don't know, what do we call it? You know, when you vote on yourself. It's I don't know what to say. So you know what it is, an abuse of power. I can't find the term, but you know how bad it is. So they overturned the law that was against them to maintain that they are in charge. Now, what does this mean? It means Israel could vote in, out of 120 ministers of Knesset, 120, the whole country can vote, 100%, vote in a certain party. Let's go the most extreme right wing, Ben Gvir, right? They can vote him in. He's going to say, I want the death penalty, passes 120 out of 120 Knesset members. And the Supreme Court will, and has done, strike it down and has to give no basis, nothing, unreasonable. And there we have it, guys. We have total tyranny. They also last week decided to do, they're so activist. It's not like they do it one time. They're constantly doing this. Last week, where Israel does not allow gay marriage or even gay recognition, they approved gay adoption. Now, how do they do that? The law says a man and a woman, right? A man and his wife. But it's ish v'isha. Isha, being a woman, is also the name for wife. Right, in Hebrew. So it says a man and a woman can adopt. They translated woman, Isha, to be another man. Right? They literally make things up. They literally make things up, and that's what happened. They go, we've seen the law, we're just going to translate it. We're going to interpret it totally against what it means. 2 + 2 = 5. There you go. So Israel now has a very left-wing Supreme Court. They also hunt down all political opponents, so that's why Bibi has had 4 trials against him based on nothing. There is nothing there. There's no evidence. There's no witnesses. Coercion of witnesses. Everything. They did everything. Still not found anything because there is nothing. Any minister that is told the second you become a minister, they open a file and say, we have you taking $20 undeclared, paying your cleaner without declaring tax. Anything, they've already got the stuff, and they say you either abide by what we're saying or we're going to take you down. And they've done it to many, many ministers, and they take them down. They put them in jail. It is insane. They put them in jail if they do not comply, or they get rid of them. Like Derry, they did a deal with him. Derry is a right-wing minister. They did a deal with him saying, don't worry, if you resign this last parliament, you can come back the next parliament. So he did that. He said, okay, fine, I resign. He won the next parliament. They said, whoa, no, you can't. No, you can't come back. It's insane what they do. You've never seen. It's a tin pot dictatorship. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. So Israel now can vote whoever it wants. Nothing. It's meaningless unless it abides by what they want. So China, obviously being a one-state party, is pretty bad. Russia does have real elections. Obviously, Putin suppresses any media, any real change. The last election, he jailed him, but they have there's a chance, right? Can we admit there's a chance? There's a 1% chance that the opposition could get in. Yes, there's a 1% chance. In Israel, there is a 0% chance anything can happen because it's a self-appointed body that overrules based on nothing anything the elected body comes up with. And so they're the people that forced the giving away of Gaza to the Palestinians in 2005. Ariel Sharon was a right-wing president at the time, and they opened up a case against a corruption scandal and basically said, we're going to put you in jail unless you become left-wing. Overnight, the biggest right-wing guy became left-wing. Overnight, he became left-wing. And he gave away Gaza straight away to the Palestinians and didn't even take the Philadelphia corridor, which is the most important thing to take, is the border between Gaza and Egypt. At least keep that. No, he gave that away. And they started importing all their armaments from Egypt. And that then Hamas took over in 2007. And we get to October 7th, caused by Hamas, which was allowed to be overtaken, caused by giving away Gaza by the left-wing Supreme Court. And they refused to take any responsibility for what they did, which is causing a right-wing prime minister to become left-wing. And they will continue this, and there is nothing to stop them. So yes, to say Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East is an absolute abject lie, and that's the way it is. It's a judicial dictatorship.